How are you today? This is the new way we will do talk radio in the new world. Now that the Mayans have taken over
stop already. I'm getting dizzy.
I'm getting dizzy with the microphone. Hi, Kenny. What's up, man? How you doing? Okay.
He's like, hey, go away.
Yeah.
I'm busy over here.
I wanted the world to end. Kenny's going, I wanted the world to end. Damn. We still got time. You got time left, Kenny. 7 hours.
You maxed out all the credit cards and everything.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people probably did that who bought into this thing. But the world did not end. It's still here.
So far.
Yeah.
Mike even discovered there's a new sentient spider out there that actually...
There is one.
Well, it did end, though. Yeah. The end of the world party ended.
Yes, the end of the world party ended.
So maybe that's what they were talking about. Maybe that was the real
ended
prophetic.
the end of the world party for it.
Mark had made reservations for the Trento Vision team to go to a local Delray Beach end of the world party tonight in honor of the end of the world. Well, the only thing that ended was the party. There is no party tonight. We just found out.
But I think it's really sweet that when he thought it was going to be the end of the world, that we would all go down together like a band of merry men.
He came up to us the other day and he said, I made reservations for us. We said, where? At a restaurant in Delray. And I said, oh, what is it? He goes, it's an end of the world party. He wanted all of us to be together.
That's right. I
think that's very sweet.
That was good. Now, see, we need special effects. We need some little... Oh. Well, we do need to do right now because we have...
we don't have a lot of time.
We have IQ on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to win my $100,000.
Let's tell everybody what we're doing. Then we'll lead into a Sharia bit. You read that, and then we'll have IQ comment on what you read out of the book. But who are we? What are we doing here? This is Tom Trento, your host of TrentoVision.tv. That is the simulcast video site. If you are at home or anywhere with a computer or an iPhone.
No, it's kind of cool.
You can watch the insanity here and our efforts at trying to educate Americans, educate the world on Islamic jihad, on the failures of this administration as it relates to national security. We are quite proficient at these issues, but we bring you this in a format that makes jihad fun. Okay, how about that? To the extent it could be fun. We've been on the air now since September. We are on every day 3 to 6 drive time in South Florida, but with the newfangled technologies like iHeartRadio that even CJ can figure out.
Even CJ can do it.
Did you download it?
I downloaded it, and I have played it.
Okay, if CJ
can do it, anybody can.
You could do it, Mr. President.
You
could even do it. Okay, you can do it, Joe Biden.
No, Joe Biden, maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe not so much.
Leave my guns alone, Mr. President. So we're here every day, weekdays, 3 to 6, dealing with all things Obama, all things national security, whether it's foreign policy, domestic policy. But we analyze the ideology, the political movement, the militant movement called Islamic Jihad that is literally burning up the Middle East right now. We have Syria, where Shia Muslims and Sunni Muslims, the McCoys and the Hatfields, slicing each other's throats, shedding each other's blood, shredding each other's bodies, escalating to potential chemical level of warfare. We're going to have IQ weigh in on what the heck is going on up there also. But we have a segment for you because we believe the Sharia, the pathway, Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic law, is absolutely antithetical to Western civilization. It's antithetical to every state constitution in America. It's oppositional to the United States Constitution. In fact, it's destructive to human nature. That is Islamic law. Well, how can we say that? Well, we say that because when you read what
true.
it says and you understand what it means, you analyze that in light of what human nature and human value and truth and justice and beauty and mercy, these doctrines are all about, and you go, oh my God, this Islamic law violates the basic elements of what it means to be humane. Well, if the shoe fits it, if the jihad fits it, you wear it. So we have a little segment here. We're going to show you. Mark's going to read a little something. If you're at home watching on the computer, you'll see a little piece we put together called My Sharia. It's a takeoff of My Sharona, and here we go.
I can't not laugh.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Stop or give it up. Killing infidels, always got it planned. Underhand, give Allah a yell. Whoa! My Sharia. My Sharia.
And this is from the Sacred Knowledge Law Book, endorsed by all major U.S. entities, and it is the Islamic law words for you as Americans to read, hear, and understand. It is, His messenger has indicated is good but by permitting it, asking it to be done. And the bad is what the lawgiver has indicated is bad by asking it not to be done. The good is not what reason considers good, nor the bad what reason considers bad. The measure of good and bad, according to this school of thought, is the sacred law, not reason. In other words, Islamic law. So do not think, just react and do. Everything will be fine. Thou shalt not think.
And where were you reading from exactly?
The Umdat al-Salik, the Islamic sacred law book for the United States citizens.
I'd sum that up. What does that mean for the average guy in the street if they were to understand?
Well, if you are a average U.S. Muslim, and that means the Fiqh Council of North America, which is the ruling body of Islamic people in the United States, the Fiqh is the Islamic jurisprudential body. They have endorsed that this book that I'm reading from,
The Reliance of the Traveler,
is certified, codified Islamic law. They even stated it in the beginning, and it's good for all English-speaking people.
Well, let's get IQ on here to weigh in because he's the expert on all of this stuff. Thank you, Mike and Mark, for the My Sharia segment. IQ, are you back with us?
I have been for the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
Well, you were a little bit early, and thank you. Hope your appointment went well.
Yeah, we hope everything went well. And we just did a little piece on the Umdat Salik, the Reliance of the Traveler. Tell everybody what that book is all about.
Well, that is a summation of how a Muslim can behave in any country which is not Islamic, like in America, in Europe. By the way, it is devil. It's a devil book. It's a demonic book. It's a satanic book because it explains in detail from the point of view of Islam exactly what the Quran and Muhammad's Sunnah, Sharia are all about. It's hate-mongering, war-mongering, misogynist, racist, vile, hence totally ungodly. I repeat myself for the 1 millionth time. I tell you what, I'm going to recite to you two more verses to start with.
Okay.
Al-Imran, chapter 3.85. If anyone desires a religion other than Islam, submission to Allah, never will it be accepted of him. Another one, At-Tawbah 9.33. It is He, Allah, who has sent His Apostle Muhammad with guidance and the religion of truth, Islam, to proclaim it over all other religions. These verses remind me of Hitler's Mein Kampf, the Nazi master race creed. If there is anybody Muslim listening and object, please come against me.
Well, I will. I'll do it right now because I want to win that $100,000.
This is Mark speaking.
And I have
Give me a chance to come to America.
And I have a verse here which is going to burst your bubble because you've never heard this before, I'm sure. All right, Quran 2.2 2:5-6. Let there be no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. Whoever rejects evil and believes in Allah and has grasped the most trustworthy handhold that never breaks. And Allah heareth and knoweth all things. Now, I'm actually certified to read the Quran. Is that correct? I translated that correctly.
Correct. You corrected.
So I win, right?
Correct.
I win.
Yeah, it's 100% correct. Now, listen to the recording of my voice. I said, listen to me, it's very important.
Okay.
I said an operative verse. Operative verse means a binding verse. The verse you quoted was from the Mecca period. It is made null and void by verse 9, by chapter 9, verse 5, called the fighting verse. The fighting verse abrogated, negated, overruled 124 earlier verses of the Mecca period, which were conciliatory.
Is this abrogation that you're talking about?
Now.
Is this abrogation that you're talking about?
Absolutely. Al-nasikh wal-mansukh. That's Arabic.
Well, where does it say? Does it say any?
Verses.
Well, does anywhere say that abrogation actually succeed? I mean, because this is words right out. This is right out of the Quran.
It's in the Quran. Excuse me. It's in the Quran. Allah says to Muhammad, "I shall reveal to you verses better than this one or equal to it."
So you're saying that
Allah, if Allah is an omniscient God, reveal to Muhammad a better one and or equal to it. Why equal to it? Why a better one? Why couldn't Allah reveal the better or the best one from the very beginning?
Yeah. Why couldn't He do it then?
The God of Israel revealed to Moses only once and for all, but the God of Muhammad, by the way, it took Muhammad 23 years. For as long as he was alive, verses were so-called being revealed to him. Bull crap. Nothing was revealed to him. For as long as he was alive, he made to order verses, made to order revelations. Every single verse in the Quran is made to order revelation, convenient for Muhammad. He wanted to have a sex with his adopted son. With Zainab.
I'm sorry, his what?
His adopted son.
His adopted son. Zayd was his adopted son. Zayd married a beautiful girl called Zainab. One day Muhammad went to see Zayd. Zayd wasn't there, but Zainab was there. But she was scantily dressed. I'm talking about even at that time, 1400 years ago.
Okay.
And Muhammad freaked out. I mean, he freaked out. He fell in love with her. Well, really, he wasn't in love with her. He was in lust with her. Muhammad never fall in love with anybody. It's only lust. So he created a verse to overrule hundreds of years of tradition of Islam so that he can have sex with her and marry her. And he did. So please, when I say made to order, I mean made to order. Can I prove it? 100% anytime you want. So the verse you quoted is 100% correct, but it's made null and void. You can't collect $100,000 now.
Oh, all right, I'm going to try again, though. I'm going to try again, okay? All right.
Try it. Please, do me a favor. I love it when you try.
Okay, I'm going to try again. All right, it says, now here I'm looking at Quran, verse 18:29, and it says, respect his freedom of choice to be a disbeliever. And this is the right bestowed upon humanity by God. Now, I of course win now because I have absolute proof. This is 18. Number 18 is a lot deep in the book, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be one of the last ones.
There are hundreds of verses which are considered from the Mecca period. Hundreds.
But that's 18. That's got to be like way back in the back.
Lakum dinakum wali dini. That means you have your religion, I have my religion. Another verse which he stole from the Hebrew Bible, not the Bible, from the Jewish tradition, says, if you kill somebody with intent, as if you killed the whole of humanity, and if you save one human being, it's as if you saved humanity.
Well, I was going to use that one. You can't steal that one away from me. I was going to use that one later. You're taking that one away from me too?
You're pretty slick, IQ. No wonder you never have to give away that money.
I am ahead of you. I have to be.
Oh, my gosh.
Because I know exactly what the Muslims will be quoting to me.
I know.
And I know exactly how I'm going to shoot them down.
Metaphorically.
Hey, IQ, this is Tom, and it's 21 minutes after 5 o'clock here on the 21st of December. And it sounds like I'm listening to the conversation between you, Mark, and CJ. it sounds like a slick Muslim leader, an imam, what was his name? Fossil Raul Fossil.
Rauf.
Yeah.
That's ground zero.
Yeah.
Ground Zero,
It's
Imam
Ground
Rauf,
Zero
yeah.
mosque.
It sounds like somebody like that, if what you're saying is there's two divisions in the Quran, the Mecca period and the Medina period, and the writings in one supersede the writings in the other, it sounds like if you want to fool unsuspecting people, you could quote from the section that no longer applies in Islam and tell Westerners, oh, there's no compulsion in religion. Oh, everything's fine. So the question is, in a true Islamic country, right now, what would be, in your mind, the top 3 true Sharia-compliant Islamic countries?
All of them are Sharia compliant. But the top 3 would be Saudi Arabia, would be Somalia, would be Egypt, would be Algeria. But they're all, you see,
What about
people think
Iran?
there are moderate Muslims and non-moderate Muslims. This is another egregious lie. There is no such thing as a moderate Muslim. Why? A moderate Muslim, from the understanding of the Judeo-Christian tradition, is somebody who is willing to live and let live. In Muhammadan Islam, there is no such thing as willingness to live and let live. Why? They tell you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, in every single mosque, in every single language on earth, that Islam will rule the whole world. The Islamic Caliphate. They don't hide the agenda. The agenda of Islam is public. What makes me sick are those politically correct half-wits who say otherwise. How is it otherwise? In every mosque, they incite Muslims in America and in Europe to hate America and Europe. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah. Well, yes. Let me ask you a question here. Is reading Syed Qutb's book Milestones.
Khutbah.
What?
Khutbah.
Qutb.
I'm just saying.
I cannot pronounce the Arabic correctly. He knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Yeah.
What is the right pronunciation for Syed Qutb? What is the right pronunciation?
Qutb?
Kutub.
Okay.
Qutb.
All right. Syed Qutb. You're reading his book Milestones. He actually lays it out, and also with the methodology of dawah, he says you must take the Quran and actually apply it to modern day circumstances, meaning when in the Meccan period, you use the Meccan verses inside. So if you're at a weak stage and your forces cannot rule and take over, you use the earlier verses of the Quran to teach the public what Islam is, and then later on reveal them the Quran gradually, just like Muhammad did. Like he revealed the Quran gradually by giving these peaceful verses, and not till later in his life did they abrogate those verses and show the violence, the true intent.
Yeah.
And is that what you see going throughout the world in that methodology?
But you got it straight, 100%. All of you on this show, you're amazing. Honestly, I'm not trying to compliment you because you're on the phone with me. You are amazing.
We do accept donations in lieu of winning prizes.
You are knowledgeable. You said it exactly as it is. I mean, you're quoting from the verses of the Quran exactly as they are. And any two-brain cell thinking human being should come to exactly the same conclusion.
Right.
They don't have to have an Einstein brain to figure it out.
Well, IQ, I just got a...
it is warmongering. It is racist and misogynist.
I just got IQ, I just got a text from somebody. Actually, a great question here. They want to know that, and let me get this thing in context. We're on TrentoVision.tv. If you're driving in your car listening and going, what kind of conversation is this? Right. We have on one of the world's experts on the criticism, the logical Western Aristotelian analysis of Islam, looking at it as educated people would. If somebody said, here's a new way of thinking about life, here's all its documents. If we knew nothing about the history of Islam and just read the documents, we would go, well, that's a problem, this is a problem, oh, look at that, look at this, look at that. Well, IQ al-Rasali And before we forget, how could people reach you? What's the best way to reach you if they want to get in touch with you?
Unbelievable. Very simple. Just Google my name, Al-Rassooli, Alrassooli. You will find, you can connect with me at Al-Rassooli @gmail.com. It's really very simple.
Okay.
Just Google Al-Rassooli. You'll find 56 to 60 pages from Google all about me.
All right, Mike, put his
all my talks, all my videos, all my audios, everything is there.
put his website or something up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting into the context, and I have a question for you.
Yeah, we have a question
So-
from a previous caller.
Okay.
Yeah.
The issue is right now for the listener, they're trying to figure out what's going on here. We have one of the experts in the world of analyzing and criticizing Islam from a critical academic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to get into in a little bit, the implications of criticizing Islam under the First Amendment
Mm-hmm.
and the death threats and all of that. But the issue that we're discussing right now is an issue called abrogation, which simply stated means one part of the Quran is superseded by a later part. So if it was written a week ago, verses were written a week later, and the week later verses change the meaning of the earlier verses. The most latest verses are precedent over the others.
Well, we have
Now,
abrogation
hang on.
all the time.
Hang on.
like with speed limits.
Hang on. If that's true, here's the question that somebody texted me. Abrogation. Doesn't the mere definition of abrogation that the Holy Quran, the perfect words of Allah that were written down perfectly, when they were written on day 10, they were viewed as the absolute perfect, immutable, indescribable, unique words of Allah. But then later on, a little while later, they had to be corrected because they didn't quite make sense anymore. If abrogation is true, doesn't it go right at the heart of the perfect nature of Allah?
But of course it does. But we have agreed, I've already explained to you guys, that Allah and Muhammad are one and the same. Allah is definitely not God. He's not even a God of stone, because he is Muhammad. I'll give you an example. Muhammad once said, it's in the Quran, every believer can fight 10 unbelievers. The hadith says, the stories about Muhammad say, his followers said, hey, listen, we can't do that. One of us cannot fight 10 people. Another verse came, one of you can fight 2. It's in the Quran. It's in the hadith. It is there. How can God, Allah, if he is God, not know that and one Muslim cannot fight 10 people? In fact, how did he not know that anyone cannot fight 10 people at the same time? It is full of crap.
All right, but
The Quran is
all right,
crap.
but IQ. I mean, you have debated and engaged with many brilliant Muslims, as many of us have, and how do they answer the question that abrogation seems to indicate a failure in either the words of Allah, the transmission through Gabriel, or the reception by Muhammad, all of which is supposed to be perfect in its essence? How would somebody from Al-Azhar in Cairo, Egypt, answer that?
Beautiful. They will say,
Getting calls
but
here.
Allah
We
was
got a lot of
trying
stuff
to
going on.
reveal the Quran
Ask the question
slowly
from the last
to the Arabs. Now I asked them, God revealed to Moses in 40 days and 40 nights the whole of the Torah. Why does it take 23 years to reveal the Quran to the Arabs? They must be very stupid. Well, they are very stupid. Am I making a general statement? The answer is no. Can I prove my point without 100,000? Yes, I can do that. Take an example. Ummat Muhammad, the followers of Muhammad, the Muslims, are 20% of humanity, 1,500 million people. The Jews all over the world are only 15 million, 0.2% of humanity. And yet this 0.2% of humanity that the Muslims say are descended from pigs and apes contributed more than 20% of all Nobel laureates. And yet 20% of humanity, the Muslims, less than 0.2% of Nobel Prize laureates. I don't need to be a genius to figure these things out.
Well, they're busy. They're busy pumping oil, all the Arabs. Hey, I got a caller. We got a caller on the line.
Without their oil, nobody would have remembered Arabia or where it is.
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah.
Nobody.
All right, we got.
The oil. And who discovered the oil? Western man.
Of course, yeah. Hang on, IQ. Hang on 1 second. Hang on, IQ. Hang on. We're going to stay with you for a little
Yeah,
here.
relax.
All right, we got Joseph on the line. Joseph, welcome to Trento Vision with a crew here. Where are you calling from, Joseph?
Hey, hi Tom. How you doing? Calling from Virginia.
Hey, that's a great
Virginia. How are
state.
you?
That's a great state. I love Virginia. Those
Hi,
bumper
Joseph.
stickers, you know.
Yeah, we just had our first snow actually, but it's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Okay, what is your question, my friend?
Thank you, sir. Okay, it's right to the point. It's a very kind of confusing question. I've kind of been a follower of the Islamic doctrine for a couple of years now, and one particular vexing question boggles the mind. How can any adherent, so-called, true believer, a Muslim, continue to follow this, well, for lack of a better term, really, this, shall we say, half-wit, dim-wit, a.k.a. Muhammad, after they know clearly that, hey, very clearly, this fellow was a pedophile, he was a criminal, masochist, etc., 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 and yet continue to refer to him as al-insan al-kamil, the perfect human being. So that's one. Two, there's very little mention of him ever residing in the so-called Jannah, or the Islamic heaven. Yet he is in hell, roasting infidels and sinners, giving them new skin, only to roast it off again through eternity. I'm sorry, how is that one and the same as the Judeo-Christian God who is passionate, loving, shepherd-like, father-like? Can the gentleman on the line, or rather, as you guessed, perhaps shed some light on this?
Okay.
I'll try, but it's very difficult. I'll tell you why. When you are talking to a believer, any believer, let me put it in another way. Maybe it could be rude, but I'll tell you what. I could convince and teach a donkey, but I could never convince and teach a Muslim who's a believer of anything. Why? Since the day he was born, he was imbibed with this culture, with this belief system, that Muhammad was the most perfect human being that was ever created, superior to Jesus, to Moses, and to Abraham. Can you believe that? A piece of garbage like him, a mass murderer, a pathological liar, the head of the first organized crime syndicate in human history was Muhammad. And his city was Medina. He started from Medina to rule by terror. And this is the most perfect man. No wonder his followers are exactly the same as him. What are the jihadis?
I mean, we keep saying, what do the Taliban do this? What do such and such?
Only cowards go and kill civilians
just
who are
following his
unarmed.
example, for the love of God, Jesus.
All right, go ahead, Joe. Joseph, what did you say? We couldn't hear you.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm saying we keep giving free, how shall I say, passes for the majority of Muslims, and we say, no, only the Taliban do these criminal terrorist things. Only such and such group, AQ, as in Al-Qaeda, etc., etc. Nonsense. In fact, the ones who we continue to refer to as terrorists are absolutely following in perfect example, that is Muhammad. You know, he wed a child girl at age 6, and he was a gentleman. He waited till she turned 9. Wow, wonderful. That's not to mention all the so-called what his right hand possessed, meaning his slaves. etc., etc., etc. I mean, every immoral act you could think of was absolutely practiced by this. Again, my God, if there's ever such a thing as the Antichrist, Muhammad was it. No question about it.
Joseph, what do you do? What kind of work do you do?
Let's say I work in the intelligence business.
The intelligence business, like you sell brain food or something?
Sometimes it's an oxymoron term, intelligence and the work that's emulated.
You work for the United States government?
Yes, sir.
Oh, do you got a little accent there? What is that accent all about?
Well, I've lived in different part of the world. Well, my father is French Lebanese, so I guess that's part of it. But my mom was Italian, so there's a little bit of that.
Well, you got a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you speak Arabic by any chance?
Yes, fluently.
Oh, okay. And in your intelligence work, whatever degree you could tell us here, what do you do?
Well, let's say it has direct input into counterterrorism and well, countering as well as counterintelligence. Period. For the lovely folks who we continue to refer to as our allies, really, I couldn't trust these sons of guns farther than they can move this building. But that's specifically what I focus on. The rest is, unfortunately, a bit too sensitive to discuss.
Okay, no, yeah, we don't want you revealing any state secrets here, but
we would be encouraged if you could tell us that we actually have any.
Yeah.
Really.
But you keep doing your. Any more questions for IQ before we let you go, Joseph?
No. If again, I encourage you. In fact, you know what? I'm an admirer of your work. I've followed quite a bit of the material on your site, etc. And God bless you, brother. I mean, and God bless the gentleman who is your guest. And hey, more power to you guys.
Well, I just want to clear up one quick thing. When you ask why would these people
This is Mark now.
Why would these people follow this ideology? You really have to go back. You really have to take a look at the Sharia part of it too, because Sharia is the path to the watering hole, and the Sunnah is the well-traveled path to the watering hole. And if you look at them controlling the natural resources in an arid desert environment, this system actually makes logical sense when it has to be male-dominated and male strong, because you're trying to protect your tribe in a harsh environment, and you only do that by harsh draconian rules, and you have to protect your tribe's base. So that's the reason they follow this. They think that's the only way to do it in the real world. And oil is just another concept of protecting the watering hole, in essence.
I understand. I understand. And again, I'm not disagreeing. I agree with you wholeheartedly. There are many ways to look at this thing, but it boggles the mind. It truly does.
No, it does. It does. I mean,
for instance, when you see individuals who are second, third, fourth generation, Brits or Americans, what have you, turning on their own countries, and literally, I'm talking willingly putting their lives on the line. In fact, committing suicide in the act of taking out the so-called infidels in the process. One has to stop and think. Is it nurture? Was it nature? Or is it the ideology?
Yep. Good point.
Good point.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph.
Keep watching and
Merry Christmas.
And call us again for sure. You take care. All right, thank you. That was Joseph from Virginia. Hey, I got another question that just came in on a text on my phone here.
Let her ask Volanda's question here.
Well, this one fits in right with this.
Okay.
Then we'll go to Volanda's question. IQ, here's the next question for you. I'll read it just as it's written. Muslims claim to be great thinkers. Why can't they see their own stupidity in how they believe in such inaccuracies?
I tell you what, the Muslims always regale the world that they contributed to algebra, they contributed to mathematics, they contributed to sciences. Mike, I'm going to offer another $100,000.
We saw 1,001 inventions just recently.
Yeah, we were in Washington.
Just listen to me. And
Yeah.
You see, because when I'm offering these monies, it's not for fun.
I know you
It's
are.
really to challenge. No, it's to challenge people. For example, I offer $100,000 to the first human being who will name 10 followers of Muhammad, only 10, who have contributed anything to the advancement and or betterment of humanity in any field of human intellect in the last 600 years from among 2,000 million Muslims. You won't be able to do that.
Well,
All I ask is 10 people out of 2,000 million in 600 years who have contributed to the betterment and advancement of humanity in any field. Cannot be done.
we just came. This is Tom. We just came back from Washington D.C. a couple of months ago, And while we were there covering Mohammed Morsi in New York and all of this other stuff, we went to the National Geographic display of 1,001 Muslim inventions.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about it.
We went into this thing.
1001, yes.
Yeah.
You know why 1001?
Yeah, Arabian Nights.
Yes, the Arabian Nights, 1001.
Well,
One imaginary thing with another imaginary thing.
Well, it was very interesting. We went into the display, 4 of us, I believe, and it was a very hokey kind of, almost a little bit of a carnival kind of display, but they had about 30 items, right? 30 or 40 items.
They invented flight.
Well, but they had 30 or 40 items. There were not 1,001, right? They kept saying, oh, you have to read the whole book for that. And the stuff they had, which they featured, they led with their big things. They had a guy who tied dynamite or something, gunpowder on his back, and jumped off a cliff and blew himself up, basically, and said that was the first, aeronautical
rocketry, which led to the moon landing.
That's the way they reasoned this stuff. That back in the 14th century, he strapped fireworks to his back. He jumped off the thing, went up a little, and started calculating all of this. We had said, actually, it was more looking like more the suicide bomber.
Yeah, really. His first suicide bomber.
But yeah, it was completely ridiculous.
And who was it? Ben Kingsley was. I mean, they had some.
Ben Kingsley, yeah.
They have really high production value. That the money they get.
Oh, it was first class, yeah.
And just amazing.
But they had a bunch of names. Doctor invented eyeglasses and all these things. So, what do you do when somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, right here's 10 people." Now you have to go research every one of those to find out, did he really invent the eyeglasses? Then you find out he didn't invent eyeglasses. He found a pair of eyeglasses and introduced them to Muslim in some country. Oh my word!
First of all, I'm always exact in my wording. I have to be. I said in the last 600 years. I didn't say 1,000 years.
Okay.
I said 600 years. Now, something else very important. They will always tell you there was Islamic science. Now, what kind of moronic statement is this? What does Islamic mean? Is there such a thing, a Christian science, a Buddhist science, a Hindu science? No, they don't exist. Islamic, what does it mean? All it means is under the umbrella of Sharia. And when you study the scientists under Islam, 99% of them were not followers of Muhammad. They were not believers. They were secularists. They were free thinkers, because it is impossible for any believing Muslim to have any more than 2 brain cells of logic. It is impossible. They are the least productive, least inventive, least creative in human history. Why? Sharia does not allow you to think. And without freedom of thought, without freedom of conversation, without freedom of give and take, there is no fertilization of knowledge.
Good point.
You cannot grow. Not even a blade of grass can grow under Sharia. And the proof of the pudding is there.
In 2004,
states in the world today, they are unproductive.
In 2004, the United Nations put out a book on the status of Muslims in the status of Arabs and Muslims in the Islamic world worldwide. And it was a full book. You can order it. I have the book, and it just said that the Islamic world is living way behind in technology and thought. This was an analytical study by the United Nations, which is run by Islamic groups.
Right.
But it identified
and paid for by us.
Yeah, this lack of progress, lack of ingenuity, all of that, simply because you cannot, self-criticism doesn't fit in. Quick comment from Mark. Valanda's question, then I got a real serious question. We only got about 5-6 minutes left.
No, that's exactly the reason I read that passage out of the Reliance of the Travel. You don't think. Thou shalt not think is the basic premise of Islam in a cultural manner.
Okay, yeah, we had a caller last hour who wanted to know, based on what you know about our president Barack Obama and the way he conducts his internal and external policies, he doesn't seem like a Christian to her. She wants to know, what do you think about the president?
I've always said, even before he was elected president, that he's a Muslim.
Well,
Now,
what
I'll
makes
tell
you
why.
say that?
I'll tell you why. Very simple. And you have it on YouTube, by the way. He once mentioned before he was elected that he went to 57 states
Yeah,
and 2 more to go. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Very important we get that.
Yeah, we
straight.
caught that.
we caught it.
57 states and 2 more to go. Why did he say 57 states? Because there are
The OIC.
57 Muslim majority states in the world.
Yeah.
This was a Freudian slip of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Another one. He was being asked by Stephanopoulos. You remember?
Yeah.
And he made a mistake. He said, I'm glad that McCain has not addressed my Muslim faith. Stephanopoulos corrected him, said Christian. Then he said Christian faith. My question to Obama would be, excuse me, President, if you were Christian, why would McCain question you? He's also a Christian. Another slip of the tongue. But what
That's a
happened?
good way of looking at
The
it.
news media covered it all up as a joke. It wasn't a joke. I wasn't laughing.
Do you think it?
I'm not laughing.
Do you think it matters? What does it matter what his religion is?
Oh yeah, it matters.
In what
Because
way?
If he is a Muslim, because he is a Muslim, what did he do? Now let's get this straight. The first phone call he made after he became president to whom? To another Muslim.
Right.
Right.
Okay. What did he do in the first 4 years, the period of his life? Every Muslim leader who was a friend of ours in the West, like Mubarak for 30 years, like Gaddafi, he turned them into Muslim Brotherhood hands. And who are the Muslim Brotherhood? The antithesis of Christianity, the antithesis of democracy, the enemy of freedom. What's he doing? When the Iranians came up in revolt, what did he do? He went to play golf. Iranians were being killed by their own people. He went to play golf. But he went against Gaddafi. Why did he go against Gaddafi? Why did he use force against Gaddafi?
Does he want to?
Gaddafi, after my president, my leader, Saddam Hussein, was killed, Gaddafi said to America, okay, here are the keys to the state. I have no weapons of mass destruction. Gaddafi was not the enemy. What you have now in the whole of Africa, in the north of Africa, you have the enemies of America. And what's going to happen with Egypt? Again, the enemy of America. And you think Turkey is a friend of America? Bull crap. Turkey has been Islamist for 9 years. For 9 years they've been Islamist under Erdogan. You know what you have today in America, in Europe? A leadership which, in my opinion, which is not very humble, put them against the wall and shoot them dead. Does that sound like a crazy person? The answer is no. They are destroying our culture. They are destroying our civilization. And I hate that.
All right, IQ,
really do.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you're obviously in the middle of a lot of this. You can't reveal your real name or where you live or who you are. Why can't you do that? We only have a few minutes left. I got a couple of establishing questions here for you. Why can't you do that?
Why can't I do that? Because the minute I do that, they kill me.
Now, why would they kill you? I mean,
Because I'm revealing the facts. Because I speak Arabic. They can't. If I didn't speak Arabic, they could always say, hey, but you don't know classical Arabic. But you don't know how to read the Quran in Arabic. But hey, you can't say that to me. I read the Quran better than they can read the Quran. I'm from Iraq, and my Arabic is better than theirs. This is the advantage I have over most people. I speak Arabic. I understand the culture. I've grown up in it. I understand the Hebrew Bible. I understand the Christian Bible. I understand Hinduism. I have a very good background. No one can come against me, debate me the subjects, and win. Cannot be done.
okay, now with that background and your situation, where is, we only have a couple of minutes here, where is the Middle East going? What is going to happen in
We're going to have a
2013?
nuclear war.
What is it? Say that again.
We're going to have a nuclear war.
How do you see that developing?
Oh, well, look at it objectively. For 5 years, the Iranians have been saying publicly they want to exterminate Israel. The only country in the Middle East with nuclear weapons is Israel. And if Israel is going to go down, I have absolutely no doubt they're not going to allow the others to stay alive. Israel cannot withstand 100,000 rockets being aimed at her. If you extrapolate the size of Israel and its population, vis-a-vis that of America, it will be as if the United States is being targeted by Mexico and Canada with 22.5 million rockets. Now you tell me how you're going to defend yourself. You can't do it. You can't do it conventionally. It is impossible. It's a physical impossibility. You have to go nuclear in a very short period of time. Am I enjoying this conversation, this part of it? The answer is no. But am I being realistic? Yes, the answer is yes. Look at the writing on the wall. It's there. Who were the prophets of the Hebrew prophets? What were they, geniuses? Did they see the future? They didn't see the future. They extrapolated the future. That's what they were doing. They could see, for example, the empire of Nebuchadnezzar going up, and that the Hebrews, especially the Judeans, were siding with Egypt, which was the wrong thing to do. And they warned the king, don't side with Egypt. But they didn't listen to them. So what happened? Nebuchadnezzar won. What I'm talking about is looking at the picture, the whole picture, as much of the picture as possible, and come to conclusions. If my conclusions are wrong, please correct me. I don't mind. I promise you I'll be very happy to be proven wrong. Very happy, I promise you. Because the scenario is cataclysmic. And Obama is comatose. Hillary Clinton is worse. And Congress is really the greatest criminal. Obama and Hillary Clinton should have been impeached on Benghazi. Impeached, that's the word. Nixon was impeached for nothing. There was only a burglary. Nobody died. But they removed him from office. 4 important Americans died because of total negligence. And Obama said, don't criticize Price. Come to me. Well, go after him then. How much do I know? I know more about what's happening in America than America is in America.
I know you do.
I'm
Okay.
I'm not saying it to boast. I'm saying it because I'm proving it.
We're out of time, IQ, and you got it, Mark. You got
real
10 seconds.
Real quick question. IQ.
Well, you have a question. Time for a question.
IQ. Real quickly, you said it simply worse or better. You say you read classic Arabic, and is the Quran worse in wording when it's translated, or is it less in America? Worse or better?
No, it is very well translated. And it is as obscene in Arabic as it is in English, in French, and in German.
Okay.
All right.
Because it's not a hidden agenda. The verses are translated, and it says, kill the unbelievers. Who are the unbelievers? 80% of humanity. It says kill them.
Yeah, we have to go right now.
No problem. God bless you all.
Look.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you
Happy
for
New Year.
everything. Thank you for being with us
Thank you.
today.
Let's do this again.
Good night to you.
We will have you back for sure. Thank you
Yes.
very much. And folks, that
We're
wraps
out of
up
time.
the week.
Wow.
We're out of time, and we will see you on Monday, Christmas Eve. We'll have a Christmas Eve show for everybody. We'll have a little
Okay.
cake. You can come
We'll
down,
have
have fun, all
treats.
that. But right now, Kenny, take us out of here for the weekend.
That's it.
Thanks for tuning in to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized.